Hi, I'd like to introduce you to the Geolumina NVZN AI system. It's a system that's built to automatically extract, structure, learn from your data, and scale interpretation across your organization. Companies really need to be using AI in order to recapture skills. Over the last 15 years, we've had a change in business focus. We've had a number of retirements and lots of M&A activity that's led to skill attrition and lack of diversity in providers. There might be only two biostratigraphers to use or no sedimentologist available to a team at any given time, and that creates a bottleneck for value creation at your company. We also want to think about using it to scale process across an organization. So, whether you want to have more efficient lead generation or in-field opportunity identification, all of that is available by using artificial intelligence to scale these identification processes and route them to geologists and engineers to evaluate the opportunity. Another critical or really important outcome of using AI is to build consistency from teams. By using the same artificial intelligence process from business unit to business unit, you get a better ranking of opportunities, which allow for better portfolio outcomes. The problem with scaling AI for oil and gas organizations is that 78% of your data are unstructured. It's core photos or PowerPoints or interpreted seismic lines. And all of those are difficult for generalist, business-focused artificial intelligence to manage, interpret, and learn from. And what we hear from subservice companies like yours is that they have a talent crunch. They have a people and process problem that doesn't let them get through the digital transformation. It doesn't let them train models, and it doesn't let them get systems into deployment. We also hear that their knowledge is missing. That might be certain specialized knowledge among their workers, or it might just be that information's not in their data system, so they can't train and build models efficiently. They also hear that data is undiscoverable. They don't have great search. All of this is kind of prohibitively designed when you use other business services, but not with Geolumina's NVZN product. We're also told a lot that the generalist AI is not delivering the promised ROI. That's because it doesn't know your language, your imagery, or your data. And frankly, it doesn't know what skills it has to have in order to be effective for an oil and gas company. Geolumina's NVZN system is made for oil and gas. It's made for geologists and engineers and landmen and all of the different specialties that exist inside of our companies. NVZN AI is work orchestrated. It's a system that uses AI to structure data, it augments human interpretation, and it automates insight using cutting-edge computer vision and language models. You can think of it as a value layer that sits across your business data types as well as your specialized oil and gas data types. So it can acquire skills, automate data pipelines, and deliver information to software and data endpoints all across your organization. It's basically a enterprise data management, machine learning, and delivery pipeline. So you can point it to any source file system, database, or data set. The system goes through and creates structure. From that structure, it has automated learning capabilities, so it can acquire skills like describing cores or analyzing thin sections or reading a engineering pipe spec diagram. And all of those skills create data that ends up in an evergreen data lake. Once it's in that data lake, it can be served to different endpoints like Power BI, ArcGIS, or our own NVZN Viewer product. So the NVZN Viewer product is a web app, and everything in here is organized kind of interestingly. It's by similarity. So the power of that is that, if I turn on the core tag, all of the cores are actually stored together. And if I kind of rotate through this virtual environment, you can see these different planes store different types of information. Core photos are in that one, thin sections are in that one. And that means you kind of know where to look, even if you don't have great search to begin with. So, I want cores. Okay, great. Well, that's my entire world of cores. I wonder how else I can narrow that down. Well, I could search by basin or business unit. So if I turn on Powder River Basin, you can see it's down selected a set. And I can go in the side pane here, and I can get just that set of images, which is a really powerful way to do it. So another way I might want to identify data is I might just want to ask questions of the information that's in the data system. And so I can do that pretty easily by clicking this Ask Envision question, and I can say, what does the LAS coverage of the Lone Crow well show? I just want to know, like, what kind of coverage do I have on a well that I'm interested in? And it is going to use a vision model to basically analyze what it knows from this Lone Crow well. And it says it shows that 21 of the 25 tracks have coverage of more than 85%. The sonic track is intermittent. The uranium, potassium, thorium tracks cover the interval below 6,900 feet. Okay. It gives a reference, so it's actually making that interpretation from this image. And I can click on that image and see if that is in fact true. And it is. 21 of the 25, uranium, potassium, thorium is below 6,800 feet, and the sonic track is intermittent. What's interesting about this is not a statistical analysis, right? If I asked for a statistical analysis, it would tell me that, maybe the sonic log covers 50% of the track. But what we actually want to know is, why does it cover 50% of the track? Is it consistent below a certain depth? Or is it like this one, intermittent? And so the computer vision model actually knows that it's intermittent and analyzes that. What's really cool is all of the AI product that's created is available on this tab. So for any tab or any item, you can go in here and explore what the models have done in the background. In this case, it's predicted facies. The system itself looked at all of the core photos, the LAS logs, and the core descriptions that it discovered in the data structuring process, and it learned to make a facies interpretation here, an offshore bar facies interpretation. So it assigns those, it creates an LAS file that's available to use, and that's really neat because it did all of that with no intervention from the oil and gas company staff. The system is built to structure, learn, and interpret. But when I use this piece of data, I might not know, how did it come to be? This is another perfect reason for Ask Envision, which is how was the offshore bar facies model created? I don't know. I just stepped into the project today. I want to know who made it, what data sourced it, how did it come to be, and all of those information are kind of meta held in the knowledge of the system. So it says the offshore bar classifications prediction model was created by, capturing pixel swatches of these three cores. They were used to train a neural network, and it relates to core descriptions provided by this functional group. Like, that's an amazing amount of meta knowledge for the system to have captured. And all of those items that have made it are actually here in the system itself. I can come in and I can actually look at, the core photos and these facies swatches. These are images themselves that are part of the data set in order to create that prediction model. And so it's storing even the derivative products that are used to train new models. Pretty powerful. I'm going to give one final example where, there's lots of chromatogram data in the company, right? And, there's all different types and they look a lot of different ways. But by reading all of the reports, the system actually learned, which ones are biodegraded. And so I can down select that set by turning on the commingle tag of chromatogram and biodegraded. Now, we didn't teach it biodegradation. It learned it from observing all of these profiles of the chromatograms and associating the language with it. So it actually is now able to assign biodegraded as a tag because it sees the biodegraded shape in the system. It's a pretty powerful set of learnings and self-organizational tools that amplify the impact of anyone in your company.